To Montgomery to begin the drive. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And right away, he lost the football. But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule?
Under pressure, and they got to him again. But Nick Bosa so quick on the outside, he gets in there to bring him down. And now a whistle and a timeout called by the kicking team. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Oh, this is off the side of his foot. And he got that one all wrong. That goes almost directly out of bounds. And this is going to be spotted inside the 25-yard line.
Ready, set. Strike 60.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Okay,
the run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Throwing now is Lance. Over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. That catch for his career is number 731, and that's the number that Calvin Johnson ended with when he stopped his career in 2016.
Yeah, what could have been for him. So maybe now what we'll see is someone else continue to elevate their game and put this number well in his rearview mirror. I think 800. Not out of line here.
And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A chance for their first points of the season here as it's 1st and goal. McCaffrey will get into the end zone for a 49er touchdown. So a good job there, Charles, taking advantage of the short field, and they score first, punching it in on the short touchdown run.
I love the theme there, right? They didn't have to do anything big on that drive. Took advantage of where they were on the field, took it downfield, put the ball in the end zone. The only thing big on that drive, the 6 on the scoreboard.
Khalil Herbert to return it from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Chicago trusted Darnell Mooney to step up and be their top wide receiver, and he gave them a 1,000-yard season in return. They're certainly hoping that the 3rd-year wideout can form a lasting connection with 2nd-year quarterback Justin Fields. Looks like that connection is starting to pay off, this time for a 1st down.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. A huge play there for Chicago. yards.
Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position. Well, that was special there.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Bears are an extra point away from capturing the lead. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And they take the lead here at 7-6. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
A short kick taken at the 18.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
Perfect start to the season on their first drive last time out, able to find the end zone. Now we'll see if they can make it 2 for 2 here in week 1.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. From the 35 on 2nd down. Lance. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out.
The blitz coming and down he goes. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Lance, he's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down.
Shotgun now for Lance. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. Got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now Lance unable to escape, and down he goes. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the first half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
Now after the sack, Lance and the Niners staring up here at a 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He'll fire this deep for Ayuk.
And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time. Now, Charles, remember they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. After one, a one-point game, 7-6.
Fourth down, so they send out Trenton Gill.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here we go.
Now it's 2nd and 9.
On the ball.
Here's Lance to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. To throw, it's Lance. That's going to be caught by Samuel.
And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
One hallmark of good defense offenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And this one hits at the one, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. Was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going. Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's Fields. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Nick Bosa in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day. So that time, Charles, a quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Fields. Trying to lay one up deep. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Jimmy Ward. And the Niners are going to take possession of the football. That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And it thought that, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks. But it doesn't matter what you call a position, it's who you put there. And there we saw completion.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there, and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play. He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. They'll roll him out right. And the grab by Croft. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the 49ers are able to move back in front. On 3rd down and short, and everything well executed. He not only gets the first down, Charles, he gets the touchdown as well.
And you see the defense commit to the run so often in these situations. There's always that little bit of hesitancy, isn't there, partner? Thinking that they may play action you. They took advantage of that hesitancy and found their way into the end zone with a running play. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe you give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
And still in the first half here, a long way to go.
On second down, Montgomery. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
To throw is Fields. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
First down, San Francisco. The pickup, 14 yards.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Are you ready?
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
Partner, there are strong running plays, and then there are plays where you simply outclass the defense, and we saw the latter there. They ran straight up the heart of that front for an excellent gain and first down. Simply put, you've got to put up more of a fight defending the middle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
On second and 12, Lance. Back to Deebo Samuel for consecutive catches. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8. So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Oh, this ball hangs out to the right. It's no good. And they'll be unable to build here onto their 5-point lead. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, and you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one. I don't think anyone got a finger on it. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Oh, it springs free. Montgomery loses it. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. So this defense clicking early in the year, week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. from the end zone. Here comes Herbert. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
Rolling to his right. Oh, Fields is intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the Niners are going to get it back here just past the 35.
Partner, have you ever heard the story of Icarus in mythology? That's the guy who flew too close to the sun and had his wings melted. That was our guy right there. Keeps pressing it and pressing it. Finally, on that throw, he paid the price with that turnover.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half.
So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
McCaffrey running up the middle. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Lance.
Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. He's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
From the shotgun to McCaffrey. They find some open field here. Touchdown, 49ers.
Christian McCaffrey.
Halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50.
And the Niners are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead.
Gold able to tack on the extra point. And the lead is up to 18 now. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
They've kept him in check until that run. That's the first time he's really gotten loose in this game.
And they have to keep that in mind. Don't dwell on the fact that he finally had a big run. You kind of are counting on that as the game went on. Get back to what you were doing before. Start lifting.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now Montgomery running right. And he loses the football a second time. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
I don't care what the scoreboard says, partner. You know who's winning this game right now?
Mother Nature?
Yes, indeed. Precipitation's winning in a big way. Sloppy. All these turnovers right now.
Yeah, well, this was the forecast. We got what was forecasted, and we've gotten a lot of turnovers. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Lance looking to throw it. And hauled in by Croft. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. 104 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in the season opener.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Davis Price will score. Touchdown, 49ers. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Shotgun handoff down to McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Lance. And this is going to be incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright. And this will stay a 3-score game at 24.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick. But let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
A play fake, now Fields to throw.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jason Barrett.
And the Niners are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard. But also, you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
The Lance going to throw.
Looking for Allen. He's got him on the slam. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is.
And the ball is knocked out, and this is picked up by the Bears. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
1st down, here's the run with Montgomery. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. On play action, Fields.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the 49ers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
Okay,
They'll
ready?
come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Here's Lance. And he will find his man, Samuel. He's at the 40, the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. Deebo Samuel, 91 yards. And the 49ers get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team.
Gold now out to kick it away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. These fans just kind of beside themselves right now. The tackle by Eric Armstead.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Montgomery on the counter. And he'll work down inside the 45. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
This offense so far on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Fields now to throw. Able to hit his target, Claypool. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. 4th down, Fields has to have this one. And my goodness, another interception. And the Niners are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's second down. So fourth quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
Now third down is looming. A pickup of 2 on first down and just 1 yard there. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Got his target, Samuel. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Lance on target to Samuel for a Niner first. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
It doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
He'll get this up to about the 44.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Lance now to throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield.
112 yards for him on the ground now, and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 third-down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
That's Samuel, caught left side.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
From the gun on third down, Lance. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. And he is going to have a 49ers first down. They needed 5 there on third down. He winds up getting 7.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Ready, break.
This is McCaffrey on the give. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13.
Just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
Second down, here's Davis Price. And able to use his stiff arm for a little bit of leverage before he's taken down. A pretty good gain. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
4th down field goal try coming, so Lance is off, and on comes Robbie Gould.
On the left hash, this from 48 yards. The kick by Gould is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Out of the gun, Fields.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Open man, completes it to Claypool.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but They can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And one last throw here for Fields. One last shot at the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game.
Well, CD, always a little extra excitement for Week 1, and one of our early window games here in Week 1 on a Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend.
And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record. But everyone's going to have to build off of that opener. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between Week 1 and Week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of this season.
So for the Niners, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they will head home next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers.